So during the Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day, we got the official announcement of Mega Pokemon returning to the trading card game. It was to be expected because our next main Pokemon game is Legends ZA, which also got announced for later this year, so it was inevitable that Mega Pokemon would be returning to the TCG. The trailer was pretty short and it only showed off 2 new Pokemon coming. However, the Mega Pokemon that were shown are very, very different to how they were back in the X and Y era, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. We're going to be talking about the main differences compared to how they previously were. Are these differences good? Do they make them more balanced? And are these cards going to end up being playable? So we'll start off with the 2 Mega Pokemon that were revealed. So we have Mega Lucario and Mega Gardevoir. Mega Lucario is a 340 HP stage 1, evolves from Riolu, which is one thing I immediately want to say is that it evolves from the basic evolution, which is not how Mega Pokemon work. They evolve from, Mega Lucario evolves from Lucario. So that's already one difference, is that they evolve from the normal evolution, because the old Mega Pokemon I have up here, Mega Sceptile, it evolves from Sceptile, but specifically Sceptile EX. So that is already one big change, is that they're basically like evolution Pokemon that we currently have stage 1 and stage 2 evolution Pokemon. So while back in the old days you could just smack down a big basic EX and evolve it into a Mega, with these new ones you're going to have to put down the basic, stage 1 or the basic Pokemon and then evolve into the Mega EX. So Mega Lucario has 2 attacks. It has Aura Jab and Mega Brave. Aura Jab requires 1 fighting, so it's 130, and then you can attach 3 basic fighting energy from your discard to your benched Pokemon in any way you like. Pretty decent attack, 130 for 1 energy, and then it recycles back 3 energy is pretty good. Do keep in mind it's only benched Pokemon, so it can't attach one of them to itself. And then Mega Brave is 2 fighting energy for 270 damage, but during your next turn this Pokemon can't use Mega Brave. Keyword in there, it can't use Mega Brave, so you can still attack with Aura Jab. It doesn't say that the Pokemon can't attack in general. In terms of fighting decks in the format, I believe we don't really have any. We have decks that use fighting energy. For example, Raging Bolt uses fighting energy. Most of the time you're looking to discard your grass energies with Teal Mask Ogapon. We do have the new Cynthia's Garchomp coming out, so this could be a partner for that Pokemon, since its second attack does require you to discard energy from itself in order to do damage. But we'll obviously have to wait and see, as these cards probably won't be coming out until maybe our final set of the year, maybe the set after the next one that we're getting, because we have Journey Together and then we have, Hot Wave Arena, Heat Wave Arena. They might be coming out in the set after that one, but I imagine they'll be coming out in the final set of the year, which is around the time that ZA is supposed to be releasing. And then the second one we have is Mega Gardevoir EX, which again evolves from Curlier, doesn't evolve from Gardevoir, so it is a stage 2 evolution Pokemon, so I imagine you could probably rare candy rolls into Mega Gardevoir EX. And one big thing about this card, 360 HP. We have broken the HP threshold yet again, and depending on what Megas we get in future sets, if we have big tanky Megas, we could very well hit that 400 HP threshold. So Mega Gardevoir also has 2 attacks. They both require a single Psychic Energy. Overflowing Wishes, for each of your benched Pokemon, you search your deck for a basic Psychic Energy and attach it to that Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. In terms of this card's playability inside of Gardevoir, Gardevoir is mainly looking to get its energy in the discard, not attach it to all of its Pokemon. It mainly wants to just draw through its entire deck and then just start attacking by using Gardevoir EX to put all those Psychic Energies onto your your main attackers like Screamtail and Drifloon and also itself, and then start attacking. It mainly wants to get energy in the discard, not get energy out from the deck onto all of your Pokemon. But the second attack, Mega Symphony, is pretty decent. This attack does 50 damage for each Psychic Energy attached to all of your Pokemon, and it itself costs 1 Psychic Energy. So combine it with regular Gardevoir EX, which can attach as many Psychic Energies from the discard as you want. You pretty much have infinite damage. However, if we're going to have, 360 HP Pokemon now in the format, that's going to be a lot of energy. That's going to be 8 energy that you need in play just to knock out itself. And if we're going to have 400 HP Pokemon, then that is also 8 energy. So while the attack is decent, it does require, a lot of setup. Plus, the good thing about it is that you can put the energy wherever you want. So you could put 1 on the Mega Gardevoir to fulfill its attack cost, then put the others, somewhere else. You could spread them around because you're obviously going to have like 6 Pokemon in play. You could put like 2 on each one, or you could put like 3 on Gardevoir EX, or like a few on a Drifloon, or a few on Screamtail, that kind of thing. So now they're ready to attack next turn. Again, it's all up in the air at the moment. We'll just have to wait and see because there might be some more support coming in the set. I believe they also announced a item card for Mega Lucario that says the attacks used by fighting Pokemon do 30 more damage. So we might have stuff like that coming in the set, whatever set that these cards will be released in. So now I want to talk about how Mega Pokemon were previously. So they evolved from EX Pokemon. So it wasn't a case of, having a basic and then evolving it into, its evolution. If it did have an evolution in the case of Blastoise, it wasn't Evolve Squirtle into Blastoise and then Mega Blastoise, it was Blastoise EX, big basics back in that day, and then you just evolved them into the Mega. However, the Megas did have quite a few downsides to them. The main one being is the Mega Evolution rule, which says that when this Pokemon becomes a Mega Pokemon, your turn ends. So if you evolve a Pokemon into a Mega Pokemon, your turn immediately ends, no questions asked. However, they did have Spirit Links, which was a tool card that you could attach to one of your Pokemon, and it basically just removes that condition. If this Pokemon evolves into the Mega, your turn doesn't end. So you're basically, if you don't want your turn to immediately be over, you could attach the Spirit Link, evolve, and then do some more stuff. Instead of doing stuff, evolve, and then your turn immediately ends. So that's one thing that they're already missing, but I guess it's like okay because you have to evolve them from like weaker Pokemon. You're not just going to have like a big 180 HP, 150 HP basic EX Pokemon on board. You're going to have a low stage evolution, and then you have to evolve it into the Mega. So it is a little bit easy to KO the smaller Pokemon to deny your opponent from evolving into the Mega. And then later on down the line, Mega Pokemon then had ancient traits. So ancient Pokemon came around during like the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire era, and they basically have a trait that says a certain thing. For example, Ancient Gyarados says it can have 2 tool cards attached to it. Yeah, Mega Tyranitar also says the same thing. And then Mega Rayquaza says it has the ancient trait that says you can evolve it onto Rayquaza EX on your first turn. So if you manage to get the Spirit Link and attach it to Rayquaza EX, you could immediately evolve into Mega Rayquaza EX. Pretty broken. Another big change that a lot of people have been talking about with the new Megas is at the bottom, the Mega Evolution EX rule. When this Mega Evolution Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent takes 3 prize cards. Yep, 3 prize Pokemon are back in the game. They originally came around with, I believe, the Tag Team Pokemon, and then VMAX Pokemon, and then, they left for a year because the Star Pokemon still gave out 2 prizes, but now Mega Pokemon are back at giving 3 prize cards. And I know a lot of people don't like the idea of Pokemon giving out 3 prize cards because you just get 2 KOs and you win the game, basically. But I imagine that these Pokemon will be like a very high risk, high reward type of thing if they give out 3 prizes. Because it's like, they have a little bit more HP than, some higher evolution EX Pokemon. They do like decent amount of damage, but they also, still have weakness and stuff like that. They have like a high retreat cost in a way. These 2 have 2 retreat costs. They are powerful, but they obviously, need to have some restrictions and some downsides. And I guess the downsides is that they're basically kind of like already existing EX Pokemon, where it's not just an evolution of the EX we already have, or it's not an evolution of a big basic EX. It's basically an evolution EX Pokemon that's a Mega, and it does some powerful stuff. At least I think they do powerful stuff, and then they give out 3 prize cards if they are knocked out. So I imagine they wanted to make them like a high risk, high reward type of card, because previously Mega Pokemon were just ridiculously broken. You just had like a big basic EX, you attach a Spirit Link, and then you could evolve into Mega Rayquaza EX, give it free energy, and now you just win. You can just sweep the game. In terms of my thoughts about these new Mega Pokemon, I want to wait and see what others we get, because at the moment we only have these 2 as like the basic example, and they are 2 pretty powerful cards, but I want to see what else we get, because we also have Mega Pokemon that evolve from Pokemon that don't have evolutions. We have Mega Kangaskhan, which evolves just from Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan doesn't have a pre-evolution. We have Mega Aerodactyl. Is that going to evolve from Old Amber, or is that going to evolve from Aerodactyl? that type of thing. Mega Sableye is another example. You know, Sableye doesn't have a pre-evolution, so is it going to be a big basic, or is it going to be that it evolves from, you know, Sableye? How's that going to work? Because we have Riolu evolves into Mega Lucario, Curlier evolves into Mega Gardevoir, which already doesn't make sense. So is it going to be like Mega Kangaskhan and Mega Sableye are big basic EX Pokemon, or are they going to evolve from Sableye and Kangaskhan, which immediately makes the Mega Evolutions a bit inconsistent, because it should be Mega Lucario evolves from Lucario, Mega Gardevoir evolves from Mega Gardevoir, that type of thing. In terms of the like restrictions, I do like that they give out free prize cards, because these cards are pretty big. You know, 360 HP now being like the new threshold. We might get Pokemon that are even bigger. So I think giving out free prize cards, especially if the Pokemon end up being really, really strong, is a fair trade-off, because again, I imagine they want these Pokemon to be high risk, high reward type of cards. You know, you have the risk of putting up a free prizer, but you also have the advantage of getting a really strong Pokemon on the board. Granted, you know, they can still be very easily knocked out. Mega Gardevoir EX can very easily be one-hit KO'd by Charizard EX. Mega Lucario can very easily be KO'd by, you know, Mega Gardevoir, because it's weak to Psychic, can be KO'd by Clefairy, and all that kind of stuff. In terms of these two cards' playability in the format, we'll just have to wait and see what else comes out in the set, what other Mega Pokemon we get, and all that type of stuff. But so far, it's not amazing, but it is like taste of what's to come, basically. I guess these are like the bare minimum of power that we're like going to be getting, because we might get stronger ones later down the year, especially into 2026, because I imagine these Pokemon will stick around for about a year. That's normally what happens when they introduce a new mechanic, because we had at the beginning of the Scarlet and Violet era, we had EX and, you know, Terra EX Pokemon. I believe Journey Together does not have any Terra EX Pokemon, so those are completely gone. Stellar Pokemon, no longer a thing as well, and those came into effect not too long ago, actually, at the end of last year, I believe. And then Ancient and Future Pokemon, I believe those are completely gone now. Mega Pokemon will probably only stick around for a year, maybe even like a couple of months, and they probably won't be releasing until the end of the year, around the time Legends ZA comes out. So we have time to wait, and we might get some more announced in the meantime, and then people can cry about them being too strong and all that type of stuff. But so far they are strong, but they're not like brokenly strong. Like Mega Lucario can accelerate back 3 energy, which is pretty good, and it does 270, which, you know, is like it's like 10 damage short from being like the bare minimum, but it does have it basically has a power tablet type boosting card, which is pretty decent, and it's generic to fighting decks. Gardevoir is like this big, like, kind of end game attacker for the deck, but it's all a case of if these Pokemon will see play, because you're basically putting another evolution into the deck. So you're already playing like 4 Rolts, maybe like 1 or 2 Curlier, because Refinement Curlier is gone, and then you're playing like 3 Gardevoir, and now you have to play like 2 or 3 Mega Gardevoir EX, because it also evolves from Curlier. Same with like, you know, Lucario decks. You have like 4 Riolu, maybe like 3 Lucario, and then you're going to have like 2 or 3 Mega Lucario EX. So it is going to take up like a bit more space in the deck if you decide to play it alongside its, you know, normal EX and all that type of stuff. And I think that is all I have to say about these cards. So Mega Pokemon are coming back. Some people are excited, some people are a bit iffy, because I know that like Pokemon giving out free prize cards is always a very controversial thing, because it just makes the game go by a bit too quick, I guess, because you just knock out 2 of them and you win. Or it's like, oh, you knock out an EX or a basic, and then you can just be like, okay, I'll bring up this Mega, knock it out, I win, that kind of thing. We'll just have to wait and see if these cards see play. Again, they probably won't be coming out until the end of the year, but plenty of time to wait and plenty of time to theorize about what we could potentially see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think about these Mega Pokemon. Do you like the new restrictions? Do you think it makes them more fair and more balanced? Do you think they could have added more restrictions to them? Do you think it's not enough? Let me know. And also, what Mega Pokemon are you hoping to see coming to the TCG? What Pokemon are you hoping in Legends ZA get new Megas? I know they announced the starters, which is Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile. 2 Johto starters for some reason, so I imagine those 3 will be getting Mega Evolutions, which I'm looking forward to, because Tepig is from Gen 5, and Gen 5 is my favourite gen. Also, Totodile is one of my favourite starters, so I'm looking forward to seeing how those shape up. And Feraligatr is also, you know, a meta deck at the moment, so they're now going to get a Mega Feraligatr that they can throw into the deck. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, all of that nonsense, and I will see you in the next video, whatever that may be. Take care.